Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mr. John Bishop.
Good evening. Got a little bit carried away with the smoke there, haven't we? Good evening, everyone. How are you? Good. Thank you for coming here. This whole little run of dates wasn't meant to happen. My tour was meant to finish at Christmas. And then we've added these on because I was enjoying it, but also because it's 3 years since I last toured. And when you have that break, everyone thinks as a comedian you spend all your time walking around looking for funny stuff to happen and have a pad in your pocket going, hey, I love that, that's in. Oh, go on, I love that. That doesn't happen. I don't write any of this down. And because I can't. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? No, I can. In fact, I'll clarify. I can. I did an interview. I don't know whether this might be, that might have been part of the reaction. I did an interview about 8 years ago in one of the Sunday magazines where they got various people and said, tell us about your school days. And I said, well, my school days were a little bit hard, to be honest, because I was dyslexic at school. Not just at school, I was dyslexic at home as well. I didn't just go to school and go, I can't be arsed, I'll be dyslexic. And I mentioned it during the interview, and it wasn't severe dyslexia, it was just a mild thing, but they made a big deal of it in the interview, and said, we really struggled through school. And it wasn't like that, it was just the time that I went to school, because I went to school in the 70s and 80s. Like, if you're dyslexic now, they phone home and say, listen, we think you're John's dyslexic, but don't worry about it. We've got a special teacher to work with the dyslexic children. It doesn't mean he lacks intelligence. In fact, it probably illustrates he's highly intelligent. All we need to do is to make sure that this doesn't affect his self-esteem. We want him to achieve his full potential, so we've got someone to work with him in that special group to make sure that he can achieve everything that he needs to achieve academically in order to fulfill what he's got as an individual, as a person, and a full member of society. That's what would happen now. I went to school in the 70s and 80s when they phoned up and said, listen, we think you're John's dyslexic, so can you do us a favour? Can you make sure he can carry heavy stuff? And that's when my dad wouldn't settle for that. He had higher aspirations. My dad took me in the car. It was great living where we lived. We were only an hour from Wales. He took me in the car. We drove to Wales. He got out at the Welsh border, pointed at the first road sign and said, there you go, son. You're not the only one. So genuinely, I got written to, when they put it in this article, it got built up, so there are some people who think I struggle with reading and writing. In fact, I got contacted to be a spokesperson for dyslexic people. I was contacted by the WRTF, which is the British Dyslexic Society. And hey, it's a gag. It's an old gag, you can have that. That's funny to everyone who's not dyslexic. So anyway, what happens is I don't write it down. I just end up doing loads and loads of warm-up gigs, like loads, like 100 odd, and it all starts in little pubs and it builds up. And it's a little bit like therapy, because I start trying to piece together all the things that come to mind when I'm on stage. And it's like finding out what's happened to me since I last toured. That's what happens. It reveals the biggest things that have happened to me. And since I last toured, 2 big things have happened to me. 2 massive things. The first one is I got old. Like officially old. I turned 50. And that's what happens. I'm at that age where you get patronised. Because it is, that's what I'm it is. You know what it's like? It's like being 4, because everything's good for your age. You know, like if you see a 4-year-old reading a book, people go, isn't that good for his age? He's only 4, yeah. Or you see a 50-year-old carrying a bag upstairs, people go, look at him, he's 50. Carrying a bag, 50, upstairs. Because it's just, it is the official old age. In fact, give me a cheer in here if you're 50 or over. Okay. Give me a cheer if you're not. There you go. There's just more hope, joy and enthusiasm in that second group, wasn't there? Like, this isn't their only night out this weekend. That first group are already wondering when the interval is so they can have a wee. Because all of a sudden, every other age you've had that's supposed to be a big age, like 18, 21, 30, 40, all of those ages, it doesn't matter what the number is, it's all about how you feel. 50 is it. You're old. And I tell you why, because I'm touring around a lot, I have to go to hotels and go into the hotel gym. And I'm now, when you have to fill a form in to go to the new gym, I'm the last box on the form. And it says, how old are you? 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40, 40 to 45, 45 to 50, 50 to dead. And also, there's that thing as well when you're over 50. If you ever had to put your date of birth in on your phone, and you've got to put your year in, how disappointing is that when you go, what's going on? It's heartbreaking. There's adverts on the television you've never seen until you're 50. Because they're not for you. If you're 49 today, you won't even know these are on the telly because they're not speaking to you. And they're always the same type of advert. They've always got like a nice, friendly, older-looking lady wearing a cardi, carrying a tray with a teapot on, and some muffins she's just baked, walking into a conservatory like that, just as her husband's walking out in his golfing jumper shouting, "I'll see you, Morag!" She goes, "Hey, what's he like him, eh? Loves his golf, that one." Are you 50 or over? And have you thought about how your children are going to pay for your funeral expenses? Like, who talks like that? You think you're miserable bitch. He's not playing golf, he's shagging your mate. Because it is, because all of a sudden you get old and everyone's telling you you're old and everything about you. So every time your knee goes, oh, my knees, that's it, my knee's going, and your body starts breaking down on purpose. Here's the thing that I think only happens to men, and you can try this tonight if you're over 50. Weigh yourself before you get in bed, and then weigh yourself after. I get fat when I'm in bed. I wake up weighing more than when I went to sleep. I've counted the pillars. I'm not eating anything. It's impossible, but that's what happens. Your body starts breaking down. I mean, at least now, when I do wake up, my whole body wakes up at the same time. That didn't used to happen. There used to be parts of my body ready and awake, just in case he was required, like down in the morning. I'm here if you want me, I'm here. That doesn't happen now, he's just shriveled up like that. What are you flicking me for, dickhead? And also as well, you end up doing that nightly walk of sadness. That nightly walk for a wee, which is awful. Because it starts off, you think it's just an infrequent thing, and then you know it's become a frequent thing. When before you go to bed, your wife does talk to you like a 4-year-old, where she goes, "Do you think you should have a wee?" Save you getting up in the night, you should have a wee before you go to bed. And it doesn't matter if you do, because there's still that thing, that moment. It's like God's way telling you that you're old. You walk into the dress, walking to the bathroom like that, that sad walk, that long walk to the bathroom. at 3 o'clock in the morning, the same time that you used to come in. In a t-shirt you wore on holiday 2 years ago, going, what are you doing this? Because I'm old. I only need a week because I'm old. And the secret isn't that we have to wait. The secret is the fact that when we get there, go, well, no one knows I'm here, so I may as well treat myself, make it a little sit-down one. And that's us. That's us, by the way. Jesus, what goes on with you girls is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I swear, sisters, I'm with you. What goes on is incredible, and we know nothing about it, honest to God. The young fellas in here, the young lads in the 20s and 30s who have come in here tonight with a female partner, you have no idea what's ahead of you. If you've walked in with a male partner, not an issue. Your biggest problem is who's going to get to the bog first at 3 o'clock in the morning. Because the young fellas who've got the female partners, I'm telling you, you don't know. And if you stick with them long enough, what's going to happen? You're going to find out, because you're going to be lying in bed one night, and you're going to wake up, and you're going to think the house is on fire. And you're suddenly going to go, and turn, and she's going to be lying there like that, glowing like she's in the Ready Brek advert, with this heat emanating from her body like you've never seen. It's like being in bed with an auger. There's no control, it's just immense, this heat comes. I swear to God, you've never seen anything like it. The young lads in here who've walked in tonight with the young girlfriends in the short skirts and the big boots, who think you've come in here with a woman who's got a hot body, you have no fucking idea what a hot body is. And it's amazing that you can take it. Because I'm telling you now, sisters, there's no shadow of a doubt. If men got the menopause, we'd have a cure. Because we're not strong enough. We couldn't take this thing that comes at any time in the day. There's no predicting it. It can come whenever it wants, as many times as it wants in a day. We could not take that because we're not strong enough, but also society would not tolerate fat, bald, middle-aged men 3 times a day taking all the clothes off, going, I'm too fucking hot, I'm too hot, I'm too hot. Because it's immense, and it's not just that. It's just it's everything else as well. It's everything else, and we don't get taught about it. We don't get educated about it. It's like a hidden secret. It needs to be part of the dialogue. We need to know what we're signing up to. It needs to be part of the marriage ceremony. And, you know, like, do you take this woman to be your lawful wedded wife, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health? And for that period in the late 40s when they might go a bit fucking bonkers. Because that happens as well. There's some days I walk in and Melanie just looks at me and goes, no! I go, no, what? No, the answer is no. Before you ask, the answer is no. No, I don't know where your keys are, because today I don't even know where the fucking front door is, because my head's not working today. Because that genuinely happens, and this is a very intelligent woman that some days just looks at me and goes, don't ask me anything. Don't ask me anything. And I'll give you an example. We were. This happened just before I went on tour. We were in the kitchen, right? And Melanie was making an omelette, and we've got one of those kitchens where the bin is in a drawer, because you know I've done all right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I don't want to show off, but you know. I never thought one day the bin would be in a drawer, but fucking is, and that's what dreams are made of. Anyway, so So the bin, she pulls the bin out, right? This genuinely happened while she's talking to me. She pulls the bin out, she's making this omelette. She cracked the egg. She poured the egg into the bin and then put the shell in the pan. And then just stood there like that for 5 minutes, looking like someone else had done it, going... And she just looked at me and I went, sorry. Because I know that that's the answer. I know when you don't know what else to say, you say sorry. That's the best thing to do. That is the best thing to do. Because sometimes when you've been married or you're in a relationship, sometimes when you're in a relationship and you're living with someone, you end up in arguments via osmosis because you just happen to be there. And you know, there's times I've walked in and gone, right, I clearly have no idea what this argument's about, but it's obvious you want an argument, so I'll just chip in. I'll do me best. I'll ad-lib, and then in 5 minutes, I'll say sorry for whatever it was, and we can get on with the day. We've just, literally, just as I come on stage there, I was just talking to my stage manager, and he was saying, how's your day going? I said, it's all right, but I think Melanie's annoyed with me. He said, how can you, if you had an argument, if you spoke to her? I said, no, it's just a text. Have you done that? Where you've got a text and gone, you're pissed off. And because you feel the pressure and you... But the last time I ignored my own advice and didn't say sorry, I was in Inverness doing these warm-up gigs, and I had the day off, and Melanie came to see me on the day off, which she's never done before on any tour ever, but she can now because of the other thing I'll tell you about the kids later. So we're in Inverness. I don't know if you've been. It's lovely. There's a river. Got this mountain water coming down off the Scottish mountains that feeds Loch Ness, a fast-flowing river, freezing cold. And we were walking along, and admittedly, I was slightly distracted because there was fellas in the rivers doing that, wearing waders doing that, fishing. And I'd read in one of the papers that the top 10 things that married men do to get out of the house, apparently number 1, they said, was fishing. Which I just couldn't believe, because I'm walking along and I'm looking at these fellas and I'm thinking, Christ, that looks boring. So if you're married to somebody, you'd rather put a pair of wellies on and stand in freezing cold water for hours on end, instead of sitting on a couch watching a box set with you. Well, take a look at yourself, because something's wrong at home, I tell you, it can't be right. Who would rather do that? And just as I'm thinking this, Melanie was over 4 steps ahead of me, and I thought, oh, Jesus. Melanie looks like she's having an argument. I thought, I don't know if she's having an argument with, because I'm the only one here, and I haven't done anything wrong. I know I haven't done anything wrong, but I don't want to ask her what's upset her, because it'll show that I've not been listening. At which point, she she read me mind, she just turned around and went, you're not listening to me, are you? I went, well, I've heard some of it, bits, some. I've seen them fellas fishing. I said, no. She said, no, you're not listening to me. I've come all the way to Inverness to see you on your day off, and you're not even listening to me. I might as well go home, mightn't I? Now, to some people in the room, that sounded like it was a question, doesn't it? And because she stopped speaking, you might think it's your turn to speak. It's not your turn to speak. Unless you say sorry, you're better off saying nothing, particularly not saying what I said, because I was so convinced I'd done nothing wrong, I just went, oh, please your bleeding self then. Because you know what I thought? I thought I was doing that thing that you do with the kids when they have a little tantrum. You go, right, I'm going to do the 5 steps and walk away. And then look back and you'll come to me. So I did the 5 steps. And then I looked back and she didn't come. And then that's a long way back, innit? She just looked more angry, and I thought, for fuck's sake. So I thought, I'll gamble, I'll do another 5. So I took another 5. I looked back, at which point she turned around and was storming off in the other direction. And I thought, geez, there's a chance I've done something wrong here. And if you know Inverness, you'll know what it is. The river's got these little islands on. And I looked, and there was a little bridge over to one of the islands. And on the island, there was a kiosk selling ice cream. And I had what I thought was a brilliant brainwave. I thought, I know. She likes ice cream. And I like ice cream. I know what to do. So I went and bought an ice cream. And I took a photograph of my hand holding the ice cream. Because I thought, that says it all, doesn't it? You know, she'll see that photograph. We've been together long enough to know that that picture says it all. That picture says, come on, babe. Let's not argue. Let's have an ice cream. It's obvious, isn't it? So I thought, I don't need to send any text. I'll just send the picture. And I sent the picture, and when that picture left my phone, it definitely said, come on, babe. Let's not argue. Let's have an ice cream. And then it went up, and it hit a satellite, and it bounced off, and somehow, on the way down to her phone, that picture got turned into, well, you can fuck off, I'm having an ice cream. Now, I was saying before that there was two big things that had happened to me since I last saw it. The first one was getting old, but the other one, I didn't realise how big it was going to be. The other one is that my kids left home. Yeah, I know, but it just surprised me because they're only 6 or 7. No, I've got 3 lads, right, all born close together because I'm a good shot. And so they're 23, 21, nearly 22, 19, nearly 20. And when they left, it really upset me in a way that I wasn't expecting because the boys, I've been waiting for them to go ever since they arrived. That's what happens when you have boys. It's different. Like if I had a daughter, if I had a girl, she wouldn't have left home. She'd still be at home now, and she'd be at home until she was at least 40, and she'd be a lesbian, and that's just the way it is. I'd make that decision the first time a boy knocked at the door. I'd go, no, piss off, she's a lesbian. You're a lesbian, you live with your mum and dad. Because there's a thing that's different with daughters, because you smother daughters, you love daughters. It's not that you don't love boys, but it's a different way of expressing it. In fact, you can always tell when you're on holiday if there's a father with a boy there or a father with a girl there. Because if there's a father with a daughter, he's always looking to see if she's okay and he's ready for a towel if she comes out the pool. But boys are different, because as a father of boys, what you want to do, you don't want to smother them, but you still want to impress them. You still want your boys to think that you're good, so you'll always know if there's a father of boys, because it'll be a fat bloke stood at the top of a diving board, shitting himself, while the boys are saying, go on, Dad, do a somersault like the German boys, Dad. I did it on holiday myself this year, dived off something there, killed myself to impress the boys, but it's because it's what you do, but it's just, I don't know, it's just different. You just don't love them in the same way. In fact, one of the saddest, you don't. Because of the way we were sort of programmed, you do push them away. You go on, off you go, off you go. And in fact, one of the saddest days being a father of boys is the day you don't even notice. And it's the last day your son holds your hand. Doesn't happen with girls, but with boys, there's a day where you stop holding your hand and he'll never hold your hand ever again. And it's heartbreaking when you think about it. I mean, it's got to happen, otherwise it'd be odd. You know, you'd be walking along looking at you going, Dad, I'm doing A-levels. It looks like you're grooming me. Can we stop? But when they left, I went into this odd depression because I thought, well, that's it now. That's me. I'm never, ever going to be a dad again. I had one go at it, and that's it. And I'm not a dad anymore. I'm just a bloke they know now. Because I can't do dad stuff anymore. Like all those days I could have took them to the park and I didn't take them to the park because I was working or I was doing something more important, something that I can't even remember now. They're the days I want back and I can't have them back. I can't take them to the park anymore. But not now, anyway, because we'd just be 4 blokes in the park. We'd end up on some register. And I can't be in a park pushing a fella with a beard on a swing going, tell me if it's too high. So when they left, it's just odd. I went into this depression because also what happens as well, you end up with this empty nest syndrome. In fact, that first night your kids leave home, Jesus, that's odd. You just sit there not knowing what to say to each other, just look and going, well, look, should we just call it quits? Because let's be honest, what we had in common is just walked out carrying a bag. Because you've got, nothing feels the same. The walls of the house don't sound the same. And it is a genuine thing, this empty nest syndrome. Your nest is empty and you don't know what to do. So my wife decided to fill our nest with animals. Yeah, but not good ones. Shite ones no one else wants. All reject animals. Like we've got 4 horses from the World Horse Welfare, which sounds impressive when you say we've got 4 horses, until you find out that all 4 horses added together cost 100 quid. When your trainers cost more than your horse is shit. You can't ride them. One of them doesn't even know it's got knees. It kind of runs like this. And then, because she's a soft touch, the RSPCA have got Melanie on speed dial, so they just phone her up with anything. They phoned her up and said, we've found a Shetland pony in a car park in Oldham. I mean, how does that even happen? So they phoned her up and said, do you want this Shetland pony? So she says, yeah. This Shetland pony arrives at the house in a van. In the back of the van, if it had been driving, it had been made up. It comes in this van. And I tell you what, I don't know if you've ever met a Shetland pony. What a friggin' narky animal. It's like meeting an angry little man who's got Beyonce's arse. It just comes walking out the back of this van like that, looking at us going, who are you looking at, dickhead? So we never thought in our lives we'd have a Shetland pony, so we both stood there looking at it. And Melanie's going, well, what do you think we should do? I'm like, what do you mean? I said, it's a horse, innit? We'll just put it in there. They're horses, and that's a horse. So we started walking over to the other horses. And have you seen horses when they get curious? Like our horses just eat grass. They don't do anything else. They're just like that, and all of a sudden they just... and their ears were going and their eyes and off. It is the only animal impression that I can do. And they're like that. And they're curious. And as we walk, and I think, oh, they're going to know what's happening and they're going to settle down. But they didn't. They started with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. They're not even the clopperty one got over. They're all like that. And they just kept on staring. As we're getting closer, they just stared more. As we're getting there, you could see they were going, how far away do you think that horse is? Because even as we were getting close, they kept staring into the distance until the Shetland pony touched them on the nose, and they went, Jesus Christ, what are you doing here? So we've got that. We've got 2 now. We've got 2 Shetland ponies. They found another one, phoned us up, said, do you want that? This other one is so hard-faced, it walks into the kitchen and drinks out the dog's bowl. And the dogs won't say anything. You just see them look and go, just leave it, just say nothing. Because the dogs are rescue as well. We've got 2 English Bull Terriers, you know, the ones with the nose. Well, they've all got noses, but you know, the ones with the snout. And they're lovely. And they're rescue. And we've only ever had rescue dogs. Like, if anyone wants a dog, go and rescue one. Yeah. There's loads of them. But I have to be honest, the first one that we got was a German Shepherd. And people go, oh, I don't know if you can rescue a dog. How do you know the breed's going to be good? You just know. like our first one. We got it even before we had babies. And then when the babies arrived, they just used to climb all over it in the box and roll around. She was brilliant. She was a German Shepherd. So that was the first time we went to a dog's home, and that is hard. Because when you go to the dog's home, you have to walk past all the dogs, and they're all applying for the job. So as you walk past, they're all yapping, going, yeah, I could live in your house. I could. I'd be great in your house. I'd love to live in your house. I'd love the kids. I'd be dead good. I wouldn't make a mess. I'd love to live in your house. I'd be great. Ah, piss off then. Yeah, I could live in your house. I'd be great in your house. Honest to God, they all want to be picked. The only way I can describe it, it's like going to Amsterdam on a stag do. And the same thing crosses your mind where you go, I don't know, that one looks good, but I think it might bite. So you carry on. And we got to the end, to where she was, our dog, the one that she picked, Sheba, the German Shepherd, and she was the only dog who didn't bark. She just lay there and she just looked at us and went, you don't want me. I'm an old dog. No one wants an old dog. I know, I've been here for months. I don't even get off the concrete now. I know no one wants me. Get a puppy, go on. Go and get yourself a puppy. Oh, the puppies are that way. Go and get a puppy. I thought, fuck me, a talking dog. Hey, you don't get many of them, do you? No, but we got her and she was great. So we've always had rescue dogs, but honestly, it's gone bonkers now. We've just got everything. Like we've got chickens, turkeys, geese, sheep, guinea fowl, alpacas. Have you seen alpacas? Alpacas are what God made with the bits he had left in the box. He's finished the world, looked down and gone, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, he wouldn't have said that, but he's... he's finished the world, looked down and gone, oh, what have I got here? I've got goat's feet, sheep's bodies, giraffe's neck, and Leo Sayer's head. What want to do with that? So we've got them, we've got these other things called rears, which I'd never even heard of. These things, they're like ostriches. I'd never even heard of them. And we started off with 6. We only got them as eggs and hatched them out. We started with 6. We've now got about 23. We only live in a flat. They're massive. And when we started with them, right, the brilliance, honestly, they're the most feminist animal ever. Because when we started with them, there was 4 who used to hang around together like that. And we found out that they're the females. You can't tell when the young who's male or female. We found out that they're the females, right? So they just hang around with the mates go, anyway, so I said to him, you never, I did. And then what happened? Well, he told me he did. So the female walks around wherever she wants and lays her egg wherever she wants. So you just go, oh, hang on, Janet. God, I'm glad that's out. Massive, they're like a rugby ball. Oh, you haven't half lost weight? Do you think so? Right. The male rear, you can always spot a male rear because they just spend the time doing that. Where's the kids? What have you done with the kids? You just spend all the time looking for the eggs, right? Because she doesn't lay it near the nest. He has to find the egg, right? He then has to roll it to the nest. He's got no hands. Jesus, that's funny to watch, you see. He has to roll it to the nest that he built. Then when he gets a clutch of them, 6 or 8 of them, he sits on them, he hatches them, and he brings them up until they're adults. Oh, she just fucking walks around with them, ain't she, with this? It's brilliant. If you go into the field, they have a go at you and everything. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. They're like proper emu hard things. So we've got loads of them. But the other thing that we've got, before I move on, is I've got to tell you this, because we have got the world's only medically certified hypochondriac pig. Because we got 3 pigs, right? We got a pot-bellied pig called Milo, which came from the RSPCA. And then when they found out that we could have pigs, they phoned up and said, we found another 2 pigs. Because someone would have bought them when they were little. And they grew to this mad, rare English long-back breed. Massive, honest to God. These pigs are massive. You know, like a pantomime horse has got 2 men in. This is like 2 men in a pig suit. Massive. But one of them developed a limp, like that. Walking with a limp. And there's a vet called Hugo who comes to our house all the time because he thinks it's a cash point. And the pig's limping. And I said, Hugo, I said, the pig's limping there. He went, yeah, I know. I said, well, you're a vet. What do you think it is? He said, I don't know. I said, do you think it might be old age? He said, oh, could be. He said, I've never seen a pig that old. They're normally sausages by now. I said, well, don't you think you should do something? Do you think we should x-ray it? He went, I can't x-ray that. He said, have you seen the size of it? He said, I couldn't get that in my surgery and x-ray it. So my wife organised for the pig to go to Liverpool University Hospital in a little piggy ambulance. Because they're linked with Knowsley Safari Park, so they've got equipment to x-ray zebras and giraffes and everything. It spends 4 days there for assessments with full board and lodgings and comes back with a report. And the report said that we've done MRI scans on the pigs, and we've done x-rays on the pig, and we have seen signs of mild inflammation in the pig's left-hand shoulder. However, the extent of the inflammation does not match the extent of the limp. Therefore, we can only conclude that the problem is in the pig's mind. I said, if you think I'm paying for a piggy counsellor, you can piss off. But we've got all of this, and that's what happens. You try and re-gear your life, you try and reshape it, but it doesn't matter when your kids go. There's something's gone that you never think you're going to get back. And so I went into a proper depression, like a real depression. I'd walk into the living room, if Harry Potter was on, I'd start crying, oh, I'm going to miss my kids, I took them to see that. So Melanie phoned the boys up and said, listen, you're going to have to come home. Your dad's got a bit odd. You're going to have to come home. Your dad's on a downer. You're going to have to come home for the weekend. So the 3 of them, bless them, they all came home for the weekend. And it was lovely for about half an hour. And then after half an hour, you see the gap in the generation. See, if you're living with the next generation every day, you don't see the differences between us. But Jesus, if they go off for 3 months and come back, oh my God, it's like they're from another planet. But the one that got me, the one that really got me, that showed the distance between the generations, was my oldest son. He's a good-looking boy, fair enough. He's 23. Sat at the kitchen table on his phone going, no. Oh, geez, no. No. Right, shout out if you know what that is. Tinder, yes, thank you. I always ask people to shout out because it creates tension amongst couples. One of them goes, Tinder! I don't know, love, don't know where that came from. Tinder. So I said, what's that? It's a dating app. It's a dating app. I didn't know how it worked. I said, all right, what happens? How does it work? He said, well, what you do is you load up your profile. So you might say, like, I live in London, I like comedy, I support Liverpool, I ride a bike, and I eat quiche. So you put all these parameters in, and then you send them to the app that lives in the cloud in the sky. And what it does, there's an algorithm that will then match it up as much as possible with all of those parameters. So it'll send you back the profiles of people who also live in London, like comedy, ride a bike, and eat quiche. So it sends it, so it won't get everything, but it'll do the best. So it basically filters out the whole world for you and just sends you profile pictures of people that you already match. And by the way, these are profile pictures as they are now. You know, like people take pictures of themselves now. They're not like pictures of yourself used to look. Because a picture of yourself just used to be that, didn't it? Whereas for whatever reason now, when you take a picture of yourself, you've got to look like someone's just stuck a finger up your arse and go, ooh. Ooh. So he's looking at all these pictures. And what he does, if he doesn't like someone, he throws them in the bin, just dismisses them, swipes left, go on, get off my phone, got no chance, go away, off, please, no. So he throws them away. But if he likes them, he swipes right. And if they've done the same, they've swiped right on him, which means that they like him, that means they're a match within the app. I said, well, what happens then? He said, well, then you communicate via the app, you build up some trust, and once you build up some trust, you can swap personal details like phone numbers out. Then you can phone each other and you can hear each other speak, and then you can arrange to meet, and then you might go for a drink, or you might go for a meal, and if you still like each other, you might have a shag. I went, oh my God, son, you filtered the whole world out just for that. I said, you know what we used to do? We used to walk into a room and take what we could find. There was no filter. No one ever walked into a disco in the 80s and went, excuse me, mate, can you just turn the music down? Yeah, no, just a bit, just a minute, if you just turn it down. Thanks, mate. Yeah, just a minute, thanks. Right! Can everybody who likes quiche come over here for a minute? You just dealt with what was in front of you. And I was speaking to a mate of mine who's got nightclubs in Belfast, and he said, oh, mate, that's the way it is now. He said, you see them all the first hour or so, it's all on the phone setting up the rest of the night. He said, because the apps will tell you if there's someone in the same building on the same app with you who's still available and all this stuff. He said, sometimes they don't even do that, they just find someone's name out, get on that person's Facebook profile and poke them. I mean, for Christ's sake, where I lived, if you'd have poked a girl, she'd have glassed you. And so what upset me, though, the reason that got me was something that had happened 2 weeks before, because I'd come home and Melanie had been watching the telly. What happens now? Because the kids have gone, when I go home to a dark, empty house. Because normally after a gig, Melanie's, it's late, Melanie's gone to bed, and it's horrible. You just go home to be lonely, because you've got to remember, like, we've had teenagers in the house for like 10 years, so there was always a crack. There was always something happening. They were up, or the mates were up, or something was going on, someone to talk to. There's no one now. Nothing. And as a comedian, sometimes you need a chat. So we've got one of those Alexa machines. Have you seen those? Yeah. That has a little woman living inside it. And you can ask it anything, and it'll give you an answer, which is probably why they gave it a fucking woman's voice, to be fair. Nothing wrong with that. It's not being sexist, it's saying you're cleverer than us. So anyway, I go home sometimes and I just talk to Alexa, just to have someone to talk to, because even the dogs don't say hello anymore. They don't, like, we've got 2 dogs, and one's not that bothered if I come home because it's just lazy, but the other one really loves me. But the dog that really loves me has gone deaf. Oh, which is sad on one level, but it's great on another, because it means every time he sees me, it's a massive surprise. He's like, how'd you get in the living room? I didn't hear you come in the house. How'd you get in the living room? It's brilliant, honest to God. Any married man in here who hasn't got a dog, get a dog. You need someone in the house that's pleased you've come home. So anyway, so what I've started doing is I've started saying to Melanie, look, if I'm not going to be back too late, will you stay up? And so she does, to be fair. So, I mean, so she'll stay up and often she'll have a glass of wine, and I'll walk in and she'll be like that going, hey, were you funny? Saying the same old shit you've been saying with you. Did they laugh? Did they laugh? Did they laugh? Yeah, well, they don't fucking live with you, do they? Right, the first time I did that mumbling into the glass bit, right, was Melanie came to see the show in Brighton, and I only did it as a little joke because she was in the audience, and she came up to me after the gig and went, "I am so sorry, I never thought you could hear me." This whole tour has been waiting just for that moment when she said that. Fell over. But anyway, because she stays up, the telly was on in the background. And there was a programme on that I did offer, I'd never seen before. A dating show called Naked Attraction. Right, well, those who've seen it know what I'm about to say is just true. Those who haven't seen it, what I'm about to say is just true. It is unbelievable. Particularly when you compare it to the dating show of our youth, which was what? Blind Date, yeah, Blind Date. So for those who don't remember Blind Date was a similar premise to Naked Attraction. The person looking for a date couldn't see the people to go and have a date with. It was hosted by a woman called Cilla Black. And what she used to do, yeah, so what she used to do, she used to get a boy or a girl on this seat, a screen there, and 3 members of the opposite sex there. And she'd ask them a question. So she goes, So, Michelle, you're looking for a new boyfriend, Michelle? She was Scottish. I don't even know that was her. You're looking for a new boyfriend, Michelle? What kind of boyfriend are you after? And then the girl would go, "Are you silly?" "I just want a boyfriend, Stella. I want a boyfriend I can have some fun with. I like going to discotheques, and I like going roller skating, and I like going horse riding. So I just want a boyfriend that I can have some fun with and do that." And Stella would go, "Oh, well, that's lovely." And then she'd walk forward for no reason whatsoever and look at the 3 boys and go, and then she'd come back like that. "Well, we all wish you a lot of luck with that, don't we, folks? So, have you got a question for the boys, Michelle?" And she go, yeah, I have still, I have. "Hiya, boys. I like going horse riding and roller skating into discotheques. And if I came home after doing all of that and I was hungry and I wanted to eat a dessert and you were the dessert, what dessert would you be?" For fuck's sake. And I'll ask that to number 1, and then the cameras would come on the boys, and the lads would be sat there going, "Get home." Hello, Michelle. Hello, Michelle. I like desserts as well, Michelle. And if I were a dessert for you, Michelle, I'd be Spotted Dick. "No, because I'd love to fill you up." And then Stella would step forward and go, "Oh, hey, cheeky. When are you a bit cheeky? Sorry to the folks at home. Sorry about that, eh? It's a little bit racy. That's a little bit racy. Oh, my God, times have changed." It's Naked Attraction, right? Hosted by a woman called Anna Richardson, who's brilliant at it. I can't imagine anyone else doing it. The one that I saw, there was a girl on. There was a gay woman looking for another gay woman. They have gay men looking for gay men, men looking for women, women looking for men. Everyone's treated exactly the same, the way it should be. So she's there with this girl, and she goes, So Gemma, you're looking for a new girlfriend. What kind of girl are you looking for? And she went, "Well, I'm really passionate about history, so I enjoy going to museums a lot. I'm vegan, so I really love organic cooking. I spend a lot of time in the countryside. I love walks, but my true passion is the theatre. I really love the theatre. So someone who shares some of those passions would be marvellous." And she goes, "Oh, that's really nice. Okay, well, let's see what we can do." She turns round. There's 6 pods with screens. The screens come up with the contestants in to there. The screens come to there. You can't see anything above. You just see below. Not a stitch on. There's literally just a row of fannies. all stood like that, this row of fannies. It looks like a shit top of the pops of the 80s. Because two of them look like they're out to Jackson 5. There's a couple of Mohicans and Right Said Fred. And they're all stood like that, and she goes, so Gemma, does anyone catch your eye? Does anyone catch your eye? It's a row of fannies, as if you're going to go, oh, I tell you what, that fanny looks like it enjoys a museum, doesn't it? I couldn't believe it. I said to Melanie, give me that wine, I am watching this. They stand there for a few minutes, like, I don't even know what the collective noun is for a lot of fannies, but discussing what's in front of them. And then, this is the bit I couldn't believe, like a pair of farmers, they walked over for a closer look. They're like, they're that close to the fanny. I'm half expecting the fanny to answer, go, what do you think? I think it looks a little bit lopsided to me. What do you? They're like that by each one. Go, oh, I don't know about that one. I think you need a torch if you went in there. They do this fanny by fanny, unbelievable. And then at that point, she has to reject one of them purely based on what a fanny looks like. I couldn't believe it. It used to take us weeks to get to the fanny. You'd just be grateful to be there. I don't know anyone who's ever got to the fanny and gone, oh, let's leave it, eh? Yeah. Honestly, it's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me. I just wasn't expecting that. That's never happened. So I couldn't believe it. So she does it. She picks one of them to reject. Screen comes up, this poor girl stood there completely naked, comes up, goes, I'm really sorry, kiss on the cheek. She walks off, final indignation, camera on her ass as she wobbles off. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that. I said to Melanie, I can't believe how brutal that was. I said, that poor kid has told everyone she's going on the telly. She's told all her mates, everyone at work. They're all going to say to her tomorrow, so how did you get on telly? She's going to have to go, fucking fanny let me down again. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's like, I couldn't believe it. But then it continues, it goes from there to there. So then it's boobs. What kind of boobs? You like big ones, little ones? Do you like inverted nipples, pointy nipples, pierced nipples, which apparently get in your fillings? So that's a conversation. That happens. She rejects someone from there. And then, the next stage, the final contestants are revealed in full, from head to toe, so you see the whole person. And it was at this point, Anna Richardson, the host, said something that's never been said on planet Earth before, because there was never a reason for anyone to ever say it. When the screen comes up to reveal the full person of the remaining contestants in full from head to toe, Anna Richardson goes, oh my God. Now, I'll be honest with you, I would never have put that minge with that face. Like, who has ever done that? That's the worst game of Guess Who ever. So when I saw that, the rejection going on with that, and I saw my lads rejecting people on the phone, saying, lads, don't do that, don't filter out the world, take a chance. And he went, all right then, how did you meet me mum? I thought, okay, I've never told him, because you never tell your kids stuff like that, do you? So I told him the story, because I remember every detail of it. It was in the 80s. It was in a library in Manchester. And I saw Melanie, and because it was the 80s, she had big hair, all combed back. Big head like that, big head. Little face right in the middle, this massive big head. big glasses. She had a white top on, faded denim jeans, little Reebok boots. I was wearing a tracksuit because if you're not from the 80s, you may not know that at that time there was a law in England that said if you've got my accent, you have to wear a tracksuit. So I had this tracksuit and I saw her and I looked at her and she did something you can't do with an app. She looked back at me. Of course, her eye, she looked back and then she did something else that was amazing. She got her glasses and she pulled them down. So she looked at me over the rim of the glasses, you know, like a sexy secretary. I thought, oh my God, that is the biggest come on I've ever seen in my life. I mean, now I'm married to her, I know she's long-sighted, but she just couldn't see what that colourful blob was in the corner. That was my tracksuit. She was looking at me like that. But I took that as the come on, because that's what I said to me lads. You know, we didn't have apps. You didn't work things out. You had to go off signals. I thought, that's a signal. That's the signal. I said, when you got the signal, then you had to walk over. But you had to do it with confidence. So I walked over to her like that. Said, I'll be back in a minute, we can go for a coffee. To which she said, what makes you think I want to go for a coffee with you? To which I said, and this is the killer, because you do. And then I sauntered away. But as I'm telling the lads this story, Melanie went, but you didn't come back. I said, of course I come back. We're married with kids. She said, no, you didn't come back for 45 minutes. And I kept sitting there thinking, the arrogant, cocky, guess who does he think he is? She said, if I didn't have an assignment to get in, I would have left after 10 minutes. Because I thought, what an arrogant, cocky sod. But I had to sit there and finish it. And I said, well, you're wrong. I said, I didn't realise it was 45 minutes. I knew it was a while. But you're wrong as to the reasons why. It wasn't because I was being cocky and arrogant. It wasn't because I thought I was better than you. It's because the moment I saw you, I knew you were out of my league. And I didn't know anyone who knew you. I didn't know your name, didn't know anyone who knew anything about you. I couldn't go on your Facebook profile and see what you'd had for breakfast. I said, so I spent 45 minutes being scared because I knew if I got you for a coffee, I knew the moment I saw you, if I managed to get you to sit down with me for a coffee, it could be 5 minutes that could change my life. And I just knew it. And so I was too scared to come back. I spent all that time building up the bottle to come back. It wasn't because I was cocky. It was because I was afraid. I didn't want to get it wrong. And that's what I said to my lads. Sometimes in life, be too scared to speak to people. Don't filter the world out. Take a chance. Because if you do, you don't know what will happen. Well, it's true. Thank you, but it's true. It's absolutely true. That woman that I was once too scared to talk to, I'm comfortable enough with now to make love to while the dog licks me foot. Because that's what you find yourself doing in marriage, anyway. You find yourself in that situation. You know. And she's going, what's wrong with you? Thinking dog's licking me foot. Well, just tell him to get off. I can't, he's deaf. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish in a minute. But I'll be honest with you, it's difficult with me sometimes to find a way of ending a show because it's not really a show. It's not jokes. It's just stuff that's happened. And I was talking to Melanie about it, and she said, well, if you're going to end the show, end it honestly. Just tell them the truth. Because when I do this, people go, oh, have you made all that up? She said, no, just tell them the truth. And what's happened has happened. You know, I did turn 50. I did get older, my kids did leave home. And it did upset me. It upset me massively, but it's different now because I take the piss out the internet, but it's changed everything because now, because the kids do these Instagram stories, like when we left home, you'd phone home until the pips went out and then you'd phone back 3 months later. Whereas now, kids have all got Instagram, so they post these Instagram stories so I can see them when they don't even know I can see them. Which I love because you know what it's like if you're a parent. You know, a kid can, they can break your heart into 1,000 pieces and put it back together with a smile. And you just need to say, sometimes that means everything. So Melanie said, just do that. Just do the same that you ask of them. Just do your Instagram story of this show. So this is my story of the show. Alexa, how big is my cock?
I'd rather not answer that.
When you look so good, the pain in your face doesn't show. When you look so good, and baby you don't even know. You're the best thing about me, the best thing that ever happened to boy. You're the best thing about me, I'm the kind of trouble that you enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks everyone. Good night. God bless. Thank you.